As we look ahead into the next century, leaders will be those who empower others. This is a quote from the self-proclaimed introvert Bill Gates. I love this quote because when we think about empowerment, we normally focus on how to empower ourselves rather than on how to empower others, which is what I hope to do with this speech. When we hear the term leader, we think of one type of person. We think of someone who is confident, outgoing, loud, or the center of attention. It doesn't have to be that way. This speech is all about how introverted people make great leaders. I am personally very introverted, yet I have held several successful leadership positions in my life. A couple of examples are when I was in high school, I was the captain of our falconet team, which was a part of our band's dance team. We won awards internally and we also earned awards competitively, which was a great success for us. I am also currently the parliamentarian of the National Honor Fraternity that I am in. We are going to look at what an introvert looks like, what the definition of an introvert is. We are also going to look at the good qualities that uplift introverts in leadership positions, and we are also going to look at barriers that introverts may have to overcome when they become leaders. My call to action with this speech is to stop the assumption of what a leader looks like. I want us to know that everyone can be a leader, and I want to empower the introverts in the audience to know that you do have that leadership ability, even if society says you don't. First, we are going to look at the definition of an introvert. According to WebMD, an introvert is someone who feels more comfortable focusing on their inner thoughts rather than externally what is around them. An introvert may be more shy, quiet, or reserved. Introverts may feel more comfortable at home alone rather than at a big party with a large crowd. Introverts also like to reflect inwards and focus on themselves. I wanted to show you an introverted leader that I thought was a great impact on our history and everyone would recognize. So I'm going to hold up the picture for a few seconds to see if you recognize her before we talk about her. So here she is. This is Rosa Parks. She is perfect for this speech because she chose passive resistance, yet is still a name that we all know today. She is remembered for what she did rather than what she said. In short, she refused to give up her seat on the bus for a white passenger in a time where you were required to give up your seat if you were a black person for a white passenger. Her defiance sparked an entire boycott when she didn't have to say many words. Her actions are what sparked the boycott. Some other introverted leaders that you may know are J.K. Rowling, Abraham Lincoln, Steven Spielberg, and many more. Next, we are going to look at the qualities that uplift leadership in introverts. According to Brenda Miller, one of the qualities that enhances leadership abilities for introverts is that they will listen to people and vice versa. You want this in a leader because you want someone who will listen to you. They will listen to your concerns, listen to your ideas, and they may make choices based off of that. That's a great quality to have in a leader. Introverts also tend to be humbled. With all of the reflective thinking that they do, they tend to humble themselves. You want a leader that's going to be humble. You don't want someone that is thinking they are above you or that you are serving them. You want someone who thinks they are on the same level with you and treats you as a human being. Introverts tend to reflect, therefore important decisions are made with great thought. Introverts make sure all the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted, and everything is in place before they make decisions. You want this in a leader because this means that the decisions that they make, you know, will impact you in a positive way, rather than someone who will make decisions in a hasty way that may negatively impact you. Next, we are going to look at barriers that introverts may come through when they are going through leadership positions and how they can overcome that. A quality that can hinder introverts is self-doubt. When you do so much reflective thinking and thinking inside yourself, that may bring forward some insecurities and some doubt within yourself. You can overcome this by thinking about the achievements you have made in your past or even in your future, and to also think about how you are breaking that stereotype, you are breaking that mold that a leader has to be an extroverted and loud person. Another quality that can hinder introverts is trouble being perceived as a leader. When we have this mold of what a leader should look like, that means that introverts will have a harder time being perceived as leaders. This can be overcome the same way that Rosa Parks did it. Rosa Parks acted. She didn't have to say much. This means to overcome that, you should act as a leader. You should be a role model. You shouldn't have to focus solely on your words and what you're saying. And again, you should focus on your own achievements, what you have done in the past, what you're going to do in the future, whether you are a leader or you're applying to be a leader. And know that you are breaking those stereotypical boundaries of being a leader. This brings us to our conclusion. We have talked about what the definition of an introvert is. We have talked about the qualities that uplift introverts in leadership positions, and we have talked about barriers that introverts may face and how they can overcome that. I do want to reiterate my call to action again with this speech. I want to stop the assumptions of what a leader is. I don't want there to be a one-track mind when we look at leaders, and I really want to empower the introverts in the audience. Know that even if you are not the loudest voice in the room, you are still a voice and you are still powerful.